the thought that people will only join you if you have a team and you have sales. That's not why they're going to join you. They're going to join you because you're inspiring, they love your energy, and you're going to help them bridge the gap that they can become inspiring too, and that they could shift their energy into this better, more positive, more grateful person too. And how does that happen? In the community. Seem to regularly hear, "You're so inspiring. I love your energy," which is freaking awesome, by the way. So good job, all the time. And while it is kind and super nice to hear, without people reaching out and asking to hear more about what I can do or how they can join this opportunity as well, I'm left feeling somewhat like a court gesture or a show pony. Nice. Simply as someone who entertains and not as someone who can lead them to the promised land of running a successful business online and obtaining freedom. Is there something I'm missing in how I am showing up that's not conveying that message? Or is this just another not enough eyeballs on the offer issue and I need to keep plugging along? Thank you. Yeah, it's a great question. And if you are feeling similarly, let me know in the chat that that's happening to you as well. There is kind of two sides to this answer. On one hand, it may be a not enough eyeballs on the offer, potentially, because just you need more numbers to really know. And I'm not sure what type of reach you have or what the eyeballs really looks like. If it's like a really small sample size, could possibly be part of it. But there is definitely a disconnect also from the "you're so inspiring, I love your energy" to the "wait a second, can I do this too?" And so I don't know what you've already been doing in terms of content to bridge that gap from them looking at you as this person who can do XYZ. But like me watching you, I'm like, I can't do that. So has this already been an intentional content focus for you in your stories? Have you been addressing this? Have you been talking directly about it? Or have you just been hoping that it gets translated somehow and you start generating more leads?
Do you mean like, have I been targeting this specifically? Like, have I been like, "Hey guys, you all say I'm so inspiring, I'm so great. Why aren't you why aren't you wanting to do this?"
Like what have you done in that very direct, no bullshit way to cut right through all the nonsense?
Not that. I mean, I pride myself in being very direct, very authentic, very energetic in mindset shifts, providing value, perspectives, edification of other people, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm very passionate in that regard. I've edified myself in like kind of in a backhanded way about, people saying these things, but no, I have not gotten on the camera and just been like, "Hello, you all say like, I love your energy. I love this," but nobody wants to join me. I guess maybe in my head, I just have the story I'm telling myself is like, I haven't been edifying my success enough.
I think it's the opposite. I think you haven't been edifying your shortcomings enough.
Okay, go on.
So when you think about an inspiring story in a movie, in a book, even in our community, it's always starts with the "man, I was down and out," right? I couldn't even say my name. I was so afraid to speak in public. I had these insecurities. I had these fears. I had my family judge me. You know what I mean? Like all the shit starts there. That's where you relate to the audience. That's where they go, "Fuck me too, fuck me too, fuck me too." Right? And if you skip that stuff and you go, "Hey, look at me, I'm killing it and you can do it too," they're still stuck in the like, you make it look easy. You're so confident. You're vulnerable. You're open. You're energetic. You're inspiring. I love your energy. You're getting the compliments, but the disconnect is, I just don't think I can do it because you got your shit so well put together. It's the impression. So we need to rewind the story quite a bit more to still being honest and true. And maybe certain things have come easier for you than other people in some ways, but I'm sure you've also had like a fair share of challenges, adversities, of self-doubt, of insecurity, of those things as well that you could talk about more. So Once again, I am speculating because I don't know your content and I don't watch all your things, and I'm not sure if you already do this. But on a scale of like 1 to 10, from how many posts you make and how much social media stuff you're putting out there, stories, doesn't matter the format, or ads or whatever, how much of your content overall do you feel you're talking about the vulnerable opposite side of the coin of how hard it's been and this and that for you, Sarah? Like
There's
1 to 10.
definitely huge, big disparity. I mean, I definitely talk about like the great side more than, I don't know, maybe like a 3, like 3 closer. Like I hardly talk about.
Yeah. And the thing is that it's counterproductive because we feel as if we talk about the good stuff and the progress and the growth and the success and those things, it's actually reconfirming our confidence. So it's like we say it and we hear ourselves say it, and then we believe our own like good press and we're like, yeah, we're the shit. And it actually builds us up more, but we're really saying it and hearing it and saying it and hearing it, which does have a good purpose in one hand. But on the other hand, it actually creates this divide between your audience because you don't know how they see you. And if you're getting those comments like, you're so inspiring, I love your energy, the chances are they're seeing you up on a pedestal and they're really inspired by the fact that you have the courage, you have the confidence, you have the ability to put yourself out there and show your face on camera and stuff. And this kind of thing is not common. Like people are deathly afraid of speaking into a camera or public speaking or those kinds of things. So they're watching you being like, I wish I knew if you were always like this naturally. And so the more we talk about how fucking awesome we are, even though it's important to have confidence, there's a level of like humbleness that comes across where you're like, look, listen, guys, I haven't always been this good at speaking. I haven't done this and that. It took a lot of years of practice. There was times where I did this and I did that. And I would almost package it together in this way every single time. Not 3 out of 10, but like 100 out of 100. Because every time you come on, there needs to be this buildup of the hero's journey in that particular piece of content where the person's like, okay, I get it. You've paid your dues, you put in the work, you've practiced, you've been uncomfortable, you did it anyways. You felt or sounded stupid to other people in the beginning. And you know what? You just did it anyways because you've learned not to focus on what other people think about you, and your goals and dreams are more important than other people's opinions. And just this like bridge between them and you, and they'll start to see themselves in that. And then from there, then you need to really sell the entry level access to what you're offering, like a business opportunity and training, coaching, so on, in a way that's like, there's no experience needed. Listen, if you're not very good with tech stuff and you don't really get it, that's okay. We'll teach you everything. You just have to show up. And so you're really downselling what they need to bring over to get started. They just need to bring over the willingness, the work ethic, the attitude, those kinds of things. But everything else is provided for them, and they just have to show up time and time and time again. And so possibly you're missing the mark at the front end and you're missing the mark at the back end, and your middle is excellent. And that's why you're getting those compliments, because the bridge, there's this huge leap. Like someone's walking down a path and then there's this fucking Grand Canyon, and they just look at it and go like, I can't jump over that. But you're on the other side being like, come on, it's easy. Just jump over. Look at me. I'm so great. And they're just like, I'm going to die. Like there's a big hole here. And so what you need to do is build the bridge, make it this really, really simple, like little path to cross over. They look over the edge. They're like, holy shit, that's a big drop. But you know what? I'm safe on this bridge, so I'm good. Then you're on the other side of the bridge going, yeah, come on over. Look, we'll show you everything. You don't need experience. It's okay. And then they go, okay. So this comment you're receiving, you're so inspiring, I love your energy, is so good. So we need to make sure that you keep that. You don't stop that. You don't change that. So whatever is creating that is perfect. Keep that. But what we need for you to start hearing is, you're so inspiring, I love your energy, and I feel like I can do this too. That's how they complete the comment. And then when they say that, then you go, of course you can. Let me show you how, and you can kind of segue into it. So you're close, But right now there's a level of, I just can't do it like you. And they feel like they need to be exactly like you. And that's not necessarily the case.
Okay, this is incredible. I will absolutely implement it. The only other question I have is that with the visual of the bridge, if I'm gonna like up play this situation of like where I was to, empathize with these people, my energy's here, great in the middle. My concern is like, what about how am I speaking from the other side of the bridge? Like, how am I selling this if I am someone that's not regularly making sales or having a team, or do you know what I'm saying? Like, what's my like, hey, you can do this too. And if people, okay, Sarah, what are you doing?
Because you got to remember, if your backstory is that you weren't inspiring at one stage in your life, you didn't feel inspired, you didn't feel inspiring. Maybe you felt lost. Maybe you didn't feel like you had a lot of excitement and hope for your future. You didn't know what the future had in store for you. You're just going through the motions, and you found your purpose here with this. And like, you see how this is the vehicle to unlocking the lifestyle, the fulfillment, the contribution to humanity in the future, as you continue to show up and become this version of yourself where you're doing the work and you're practicing and so on and so on. That is very, very inspiring. And that's why people are telling you that you're inspiring. So you have to disconnect from the thought that people will only join you if you have a team and you have sales. That's not why they're going to join you. They're going to join you because you're inspiring. They love your energy, and you're going to help them bridge the gap that they can become inspiring too, and that they could shift their energy into this better, more positive, more grateful person too. And how does that happen? In the community, right? How did it happen for you? Community, training, support, encouragement, belief, other people sharing their stories. And you're like, man, if they can do it, I can do it. All of that created who you have become. And you just have to fill in the gaps of your story with the specific details of the stuff that like kept you awake at night, made you cry, made you kind of want to say like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is for me. Cause I'm sure a lot of those types of doubtful thoughts have, come and gone. And that's literally being a human being. All of us have that. There's not one single person on this call who doesn't go through the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of I'm the fucking greatest to like, I don't think I can do this literally like within a 24-hour period. It happens to all of us, including myself. So you just need to relate with that humanness element with your audience and let them know that you weren't once inspiring and you weren't once with this type of energy. But the reason you're like this now is because you have purpose. You know where you're going. You know what you're creating. Every single day is intentional in the direction of your life. And one of the things that I learned like a long, long time ago is that you're either a meaningful specific or a wandering generality. And if you're a wandering generality, that's what you experience if you ever go to the mall and you walk in there and there's people that just look like zombies and they're kind of checked out and just walking around. And it's like, oh my God. And I can't really handle that. I'm like, I go a little crazy. So I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Cause people are just walking around like they got all day to do nothing. You know what I mean? Like that's a wandering generality. You have no purpose. You have nowhere to be. You walk like 0.0 kilometers an hour to wherever you're going. And I'm freaking ripping around being like, I got the fuck out of here as quickly as I can. Because I got a purpose to get back to. I got shit to do. I got a family to go see. I got lives to go change. Like I want to get in the mall, get my shit out of the mall if I need to go to the mall, which is basically never. But if I got to go do something like that, it's like, you know what I mean? So if you go to these public places and you see someone just kind of ripping, fast, walking, intentional, focus driven, it's like, that's a meaningful specific. And over here, I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing, but you got way too much laxy daisy time. So for you and everybody on this call, remember, people want to partner with someone who has a vision, who has a plan, who knows what they're going. And one of the best things about like Enagic and stuff like that is the career path. Like, okay, 1A to 6A, this is kind of what it looks like. This is what I got to accomplish. This is the game. This is the number of sales. This is what I got to figure out how to crack this code. From 6A to over here, this is the next level of the game. And then from here to here. And so for me, when I got started, I was so excited by that because I'm like, man, I got this roadmap. I know where I'm going to go and I got to learn a lot along the way. but like, I'm just kind of taking step by step every single day, progressing down this journey. And now I'm closer to the finish line than I am the starting line of this game. And it feels really amazing. And so people over the years have wanted to partner with me even before the sales and the results at the beginning, where I would literally go, guys, this is the vision. Here's where we're going. Are you coming with me? And if not, that's cool. I'm still going anyways. And then I'm like, people were like, no. I'm like, oh, that's fine. Well, what's your vision? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. You know, I'm going to see how life unfolds for me. And fucking cool. Great plan, bro. It's like next thing. And a lot of people never figure it out because they're waiting for, I don't know what they're waiting for, but they're waiting for something. And it's like the people that know, it's inspiring and they love your energy. So that's what I think it is. And then at the exact same time, also broadening your audience, getting new eyeballs on you, your brand, what you're about is also going to be helpful, because as you start to implement some of these changes we just talked about, you're almost getting a fresh new start with your new people that are following you that haven't had the back history that we just described. So that's also great, because now you've grown, you're leveling up, you have this new approach, and you want to bring new fresh eyeballs in who see this new, adjusted approach that you have, basically, right? So that's why I said earlier, I think it's a combination of both of those things.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hopefully that was helpful. And this applies to all of you guys, is sometimes there's some of you on this call where I could pretty much put money on it, but you're playing too much into this story of how you suck and it's hard, like this kind of victim version of your story, and you're not able to communicate it in a way where it finishes off being inspiring. You kind of stay stuck in that beginning part of the story, which is kind of like a downer. People don't want to hear about how hard your life is without there being this like inspiring second half of the story. So there is an art to this. And the art, the way that I learn this, the way I'll communicate this to you, is that when someone's on social media, for example, most of us are primarily building our audience, our business, our leads and all that through social media. There's this level of like curiosity from people who follow you. Like, what are you up to? What's your day look like? Where are you going? Kind of like that kind of shit, like behind the scenes, like just curious. I just want to know. But then there's this other side of the person at the exact same time, simultaneously, where they're like, what's in it for me? Why should I care? Why should I listen to you? Like, are you just talking about yourself the whole time? Cool. Don't fucking care. But if it's like this balance between here's what I'm up to, here's what I'm going through, vulnerability, authenticity, here's where I come from, this is why this is important, and then you finish it off, and so you can do this too. Or a version of like, what's the lesson in it for them? So sometimes you can say things like, you may be feeling like this, or you may be experiencing that, or you may be going through something similar to what I'm describing. And if so, punchline, what's the lesson? And if you can put your content strategy together in this way, then people keep coming back for more because they're getting all of these things fulfilled. The curiosity of what you're up to, the relatability of know, like, and trust of like who you are, what you're about, what some of your humanness is like or about you. And then simultaneously, like relating it back to something that they might be going through where you're kind of guessing and putting yourself in the mindset of, they're probably going through something similar, something relatable, because all of us as humans are going through something all the time. It's like a permanent thing. And then finally, the lesson, which is really the value. And if you can deliver the value at the end of all that, then the person always feels like they're heard, they're seen, they're understood, and there's something in it for them to keep coming back, to keep listening to your content. So that's like a little bit of a formula for people where they don't stay too much in one or the other. And if you are celebrating something, an accomplishment, a milestone, a big win, a rank advancement, anything, whenever you share that, always remember the hero's journey format, where you're not just like, hey, look at me, I'm rich, bitch, or like whatever. It's kind of more like, hey, look at me, I've had this accomplishment, but it wasn't always like this. I've been through a lot. These are the hurdles. These are the obstacles. This is the times I wanted to quit. Da 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 da. And then once you build all of that into it, then the person will go, wow, that's inspiring. I love your energy, and so on. that make sense for everybody?